Hello, my name is Muhammad AFZAINIZAN bin AZMAN. My MATRIC number is 1222860. Today, I want to present my research about intercultural communication based on movie titled My Way. First of all, My Way is a South Korean war drama film released in 2011, directed by Kang Ji-gyu. The story is loosely inspired by the true events of a Korean man who ended up fighting in the German army during the World War II. The film intertwines the lives of two men from different cultural backgrounds, exploring themes of identity, survival, and the harsh realities of war. Next, we will move on to the movie synopsis. On the first section, Early Life and Rivalry, Kim Jun-shi is a young Korean boy with a passion for running. Despite his talent, Jun-shi faces significant discrimination due to his Korean heritage under Japanese rule. Tatsuo Hasegawa is a Japanese youth from a prominent military family. Tatsuo is also a passionate runner, and a fierce rivalry developed between him and Jun-shi. Despite the intense competition, they share a mutual respect for each abilities. Second section, during the World War II and forced conscription. As World War II progressed, Jun-shi and other Koreans are forcibly conscripted into the Japanese army. Tatsuo, now as an officer, commands Jun-shi and his fellow soldiers, reinforcing the racial and cultural hierarchy. Their relationship is strained as they navigate the brutal condition of war and the oppressive dynamics of their respective positions. Third section, during the Battle of Normanhan, Jun-shi and Tatsuo find themselves in the midst of the Battle of Normanhan, also known as the Battle of Khalkhin-Gol, between Japanese and Soviet forces. During the fierce conflict, both men are captured by the Soviet army and sent to the labor camp. Their mutual struggle for survival in the harsh conditions of the camp begins to break down the barrier of hatred and mistrust. Next, on the fourth section, during the Soviet and German fronts, Jun-shi and Tatsuo escaped the Soviet labor camp only to be conscripted into the Soviet Red Army. They are thrust into the brutal Eastern Front, fighting against the invading German forces. The relentless violence and deprivation forced them to rely on each other for survival, forging an unexpected bond. On the final sections, during the Battle of Normandy and Resolution, amid the chaos of the Normandy invasion, Jun-shi and Tatsuo seize an opportunity to escape the carnage. The film reaches its climax as they navigate the harrowing battlefield, each driven by the hope of survival and a future free from the horrors of war. In My Way film, several negative actions highlight the challenges and barriers in intercultural communication, particularly influenced by historical, cultural, and personal prejudices. These actions serve as a critical points in the narrative, illustrating the depth of cultural conflict and the difficulties in overcoming entrenched biases. Here are some key negative actions related to intercultural communication in the film. First of all, discrimination and racism. The film depicts the systematic racism that Koreans face under Japanese rules. Kim Jun-shi and other Koreans are subjected to discriminatory practices, such as being excluded from certain competition or positions solely based on their ethnicity. This systematic racism creates a significant barrier to effective intercultural communication, fostering resentment and mistrust. Next, hostile actions and violence. Tatsuo's role as a Japanese officer often put him in direct conflict with Koreans, including Jun-shi. His militaristic aggression and enforcement of Japanese dominance over Koreans exemplify the destructive impact of cultural and nationalistic arrogance, hindering any possibility of constructive intercultural dialogue. Furthermore, betrayal and mistrust. Koreans, including Jun-shi, are forcibly conscripted into the Japanese military, an act that symbolizes the ultimate violence of personal and cultural autonomy. This forced participation in a war for their colonizers exacerbates feelings of betrayal and mistrust, making any genuine intercultural communication feel virtually impossible. Lastly, misunderstanding and miscommunication. Although less emphasized, language barrier also contribute to misunderstanding and conflict. The inability to effectively communicate due to language differences can exacerbate existing tensions and prevent meaningful dialogue. This concludes my research about the intercultural communication based on the movie My Way. Thank you so much.